Uh, Ryan, you know what my hidden opponent is?
Hmm.
It's this pimple right on my nose. Good thing the camera's not good enough. We didn't pay for that
The-
Robert Silver camera.
The 6K?
Yeah. Or is it 6, 8? How many Ks?
He's got a lot.
How many? 20 Ks would be a lot, right?
I think so, yeah.
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 Does that stand for something else too?
I don't know.
You have any idea?
No.
Nothing.
No idea. Just, we're hoping for a forced hacker today, Chris.
Four sacker, huh?
Yeah, you know what that's? You know what that is?
I have a feeling it was what I was researching all night.
Oh, yeah. Hitting this one out of the park with a home run. Yeah. It's an old terminology.
Oh, like Joe DiMaggio time.
Yeah, it was what Joel and Joel would say. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Ryan. Yeah, no, I've been battling this pimple in my nose. Yeah, it's really stressing me out.
What do you think's gotten bigger, your pimple or your belly?
Probably a combination of both, actually.
Nice little combo.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Yeah. Actually, it's feeling pretty good this week. Like I should.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we should feel pretty good. I mean, it's been pretty hot though.
Yeah, I'm actually already sweating in this shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
I considered
It's
showering
extra
before the
cotton.
show.
Do you think they put like with baseball jerseys they make it extra cottony? Like they put like a triple layer cotton?
I don't know. Like it feels really restricting on the guns.
Yeah.
You know. I haven't worked out all week, but I'm sure. You know.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, we're
Oh.
we're live. Ryan, play the music, Ryan. Back again.
Wow. It's hot here, Chris.
And we're live. Welcome to Quarantining.
The Chris's.
I'm your host, Chris.
I'm your host, Chris.
And welcome to a very, very special times 23 edition, Chris. The GOAT in the NBA and my favorite Ruvo brother, minus or plus one. My
Plus
favorite,
one.
Plus one, yeah, Max. My
Oh,
favorite.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought 22 was the max.
I think it was. But
Oh.
we're on episode 23 of season 2. Thank you for joining us. If you're joined in the world, if you are hidden, wow, it looks like
wow.
someone's hidden, or wherever you else in the world, we appreciate you joining Quarantine with the Chris's live here from Los Angeles. It's like an 85-mile-an-hour fastball coming right through our window because that's how hot it is right here, right now.
They would call that a heater, Chris.
I think so.
Yes,
Yeah.
a heater.
Interestingly enough, we do this every day that ends,
And why?
but does not start
With us.
5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a Mental Wellness Wednesday, Chris. And I think we have a special PSA.
Yes, please be responsible, wear your masks, and practice your physical distancing.
I think what he's trying to say is please wear an effing mask. And please stay at least 6 feet away from people, 2 meters for our friends in India and Morocco. It's simply too close. Also, if you'd like a distance measuring, if you can hit someone with our sponsor today, you probably shouldn't be near them.
Yes, this is our sponsor, Wiffle Bats.
Don't swing.
Uh-oh, that was coming up to be a muckle.
Ooh.
You know what a muckle is?
I know.
It's a power hitter.
Ooh, power
That's
hitter.
who I am,
Muckle.
yeah.
Our sponsor today, as we had just paid the bills during our PSA, is Wiffle Ball Inc. If you go to wiffle.com, it basically looks like it hasn't been updated since 1996. It actually looks exactly like the SpaceJam.com.
That's funny.
website
Yeah, that was a great
yesterday.
website, too.
Yeah. Shout out to Space Jam and shout out to Wiffle Ball.
What else is a good website, Chris?
Quarantining with the Chris's.
Yes.
But how do you spell that again?
QWT.
Chris's.
QWT.
Chris's?
QWT.
Chris's.
Yes.
.com.
Remember at the beginning of quarantine, like I couldn't spell quarantine. I would have to like
Couldn't spell it all.
I couldn't spell quarantine.
Didn't have it in
But
it.
now I can spell quarantine.
Yeah.
I feel like my mom would be proud of me.
Congratulations. You looks like you learned a lot during
I
COVID.
have learned quite a bit,
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah. Thank you again for joining us. If you're a Miss Lars, if you're lounging, or if you're Danny, we appreciate you guys joining today. Quarantine the Chris's. Our community cause today and all week is the hidden opponent.
Yes, the Hidden Opponent is an advocacy group that raises awareness for student-athlete mental health and addresses the stigma within sports culture.
Wait, Ryan, can we get someone? Do we have a guest that can help us talk about mental health? I mean, we need a safe space, Chris, for student athletes to openly speak about their mental health experiences, feel heard, supported, and loved. I mean, is there anyone that we could get that could do that? I don't know.
There was someone hidden in here. Maybe they can give us. I don't know. They can help us out.
I think we might try real hard here, folks.
Yes, let's try.
Ryan, anyone? No? Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. It's not Sunday, Ryan. Change the song. Hey, Ben.
What's up, guys?
How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you guys? I like the baseball apparel. I really like what you guys are doing over there.
Oh wow, this is purely coincidental.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
This is what we wear every Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you talking about your biceps and the quarter sleeve. You know, I actually don't wear a quarter sleeve when I play. Some guys wear it. My friend wears it. It is very restricting, so I can definitely see that.
It's very restricting.
Yeah, it must be tough. And you play baseball, is that correct?
Yeah. Coincidentally, yeah, I do play baseball. I'm an outfielder at Washington College.
Oh wow! And are you back to school already?
Yeah, I came back actually a week ago. We don't have class. We're all online, but my brother and I we're triplets actually. I have an identical twin brother, and then my sister who's also part of the triplet, and we all go to Washington College in Maryland. We don't have class, like I said, so we're actually just chilling in our apartment online, waiting for classes to start and just working out and having a good time together.
Always wearing a Sunday best.
I guess. Yeah, why not? Yeah. We're pouring through the Chris's on live in Los Angeles with Ben Ruvo, CEO of The Hidden Opponent on Instagram and thehiddenopponent.com. Ryan messed up our community cause today, Ben. He didn't put in all the information that we really should have had to speak eloquently about The Hidden Opponent. How did you get started with The Hidden Opponent?
Yeah, so The Hidden Opponent was started in October, I think October 10th to be exact, by Victoria Garrick. So actually, I started my own organization called Open Mind Gym about a year and a half ago, February of my freshman year of college. And I started that to do the same thing that The Hidden Opponent does, to, emphasize athlete mental health, student athlete mental health. And I was sitting around in my dorm room one day, I created on Twitter. And to be honest with you, I didn't expect it to grow as much as it did. I kind of just did it as a hobby because I liked helping out a little bit. And I sold apparel. I said I would donate a certain percentage. And then another part of that was telling stories. And a big thing for us is giving athletes and student athletes the ability to storytell, because storytelling, in my opinion, is the most powerful form of communication. It really creates vulnerability within a community. So I did that for a while with Open Mind Gym. And then about 6 months ago, I ended up merging Open Mind Gym with The Hidden Opponent, and I met Victoria actually probably shortly before that. I did a podcast with her. Mm-hmm. We talked about vision. We spoke briefly on Instagram before the podcast, of course, but formally meeting, talking about vision and stuff like that was probably in February of this year.
Okay.
And we talked about how we both had similar ideas, similar values, where we wanted Open Mind Gym and The Hidden Opponent to go. So we decided, you know what, two heads are better than one. This should be something that we should grow together. We both have strengths that are beneficial to what we want to do. So we decided to join it, and we've been The Hidden Opponent ever since, and have been operating, telling stories, creating athlete communities, creating athlete student groups on Facebook, and bringing community together.
That's great.
Wow, yeah. We would agree. Two heads are better than one.
Two, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you guys both, that's two heads right there. So
That's right, Ryan. Yeah, you don't count.
Speaking of which, you're it's not just you do have a team behind you. Ryan heard that you do have interns there, and he was looking to apply. How does one to become an intern over there?
Yeah, so we do have a set of interns. Yeah, they actually applied this summer. We were looking at them for the summer. It's pretty basic. Just send us an email at thehiddenopponent@gmail.com. That's a way to do it. We also, if you go to the website, thehiddenopponent.com, and you can submit an email through there as well, or you just feel free to message us on social media. We'll set you up with a way to try to get involved. We have a great team behind us. So we got we probably have 6 of us working on it, volunteering. Victoria and I, and then Leanne, she's our chief editor. My brother and Jake, they do business stuff. And then we got Jamila, who does research coordinating. They're all awesome. And then we have about 4 interns under us who are really helping out, who have all been great. The best thing about this is it's a team effort. I always emphasize that everybody on our team does an outstanding job in helping out and doing their part. So I'm really grateful to be part of it.
That's wonderful. And we're Quarantine the Chris's live in Los Angeles on with Ben Ruvo, CEO of The Hidden Opponent, and also found on Instagram at Benny Ruvo. Now, you're not only the captain of The Hidden Opponent, you were looking to put together a campus captains program this fall, as all schools are supposed to be returning. But due to that little, what's it called? COVID?
I don't recall.
Corona, novel corona, whatever it's called. Probably threw a wrench in that. How are you navigating with The Hidden Opponent when people can't really be close to each other anymore?
Yeah, so this was definitely a challenge. A big part of it was students being at school and being able to be there and work with one another. And we had to adjust. We had to, make an audible. And we decided, okay, well, we predominantly run through social media and stuff like that. And the whole thing about Campus Captains was Campus Captains is a group where there's captains from each school. If somebody wants to be a captain at their school, they apply. We see if they're fit, if they're ready to be a captain. And that's pretty much just a way of us to be like an umbrella for these groups at these schools that can also advocate at their schools, because we believe that grounds-on, hands-on communication is key on each campus. And by assigning campus captains, this is an easy way for those students who, don't know where to go and don't know where to get started, can start advocating. Because a lot of us find ourselves wondering, well, I want to help, but how do I help? Where do I go? And this gives you that opportunity to advocate on your campus. And so we have campus captains, but we also have head campus captains in each region. And in those regions, the campus captains report to the heads, which then report to us, where it's a community and they all do very similar tasks on their campuses. But also, if you're online and you can't go to school, there's also online advocacy you can do over quarantine and over this time, because a lot of students we recognize will not be on their campuses. So we have tasks that we give them. A lot of them are Instagram tasks that announce that you're advocating, do an event virtually through Zoom, stuff like that, if you can't do it at school. Because, especially now, it's such an important time to advocate and to talk about mental health, because it's definitely an anxious time.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I guess for the first time ever, every student athlete says in their notes, I guess your talk with Ryan earlier, is affected in the same way. What have been the biggest stressors on student athletes that you've seen as we enter into a new school year?
So, yeah, there's definitely the unknown, honestly, is the biggest stressor, in my opinion, for the student athletes. A lot of us don't know if we'll have a season, if we'll even be in class. For myself, I know that we're all online. But for many of us, there's that hybrid, that in-between. And there's also wondering, well, are we going to have a season? And that leads with a lot of anxiety, a lot of environmental factors. I talk about there's environmental factors with mental health, and there's biological factors with mental health, which is biological would be, ADHD, OCD, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, stuff like that. But then you have the environmental ones that are brought on by your surrounding environment. So especially right now, a lot of that's being brought on, it's biological, but a lot of it is environmental. And I always say mental health is on a spectrum. People say 1 in 4 people have a mental illness, but that's misleading, because everybody should understand mental health. It's a 4 and 4, 5 and 5 issue, however you want to talk about it. Everybody should be talking about it, because mental health is on a spectrum, right? So you could be doing well and you're on the good end of the spectrum, that's great, and you could be going bad, but everybody has mental health. And people talk about mental illness and mental health as if it's synonymous, when it's two completely different things. And we want to emphasize that everybody should worry about and talk about and advocate for mental health and their well-being, because it's important for everybody.
Oh, wow. And we do have a Max Ruvo come in. You also do a podcast with your brother called The Lineup. Can you talk to us about that podcast and what you have going on over there?
Yeah, so I see Max is tuned in here. My brother, he's my identical twin. So if you see any clips of us, we look exactly the same. The only thing is, I have facial hair. As we know, as the Chris's know, facial hair is an alpha move. We talk, So Max, I know you don't have it, but we all think you should. But anyway,
Good luck. Good luck in the future, Max. I hope you're able to attain all of your dreams of facial hair.
Yeah, exactly. So the lineup is a mental health podcast. We interview athletes, we interview advocates, and we interview psychologists in the near future. We have not interviewed one yet, but we are lined up to have psychologists on. And we talk about student athletes, we talk about life. It's a very general podcast. We like to be free-flowing, but the theme of it is talking about student athlete mental health stories, telling stories, because like I said, my favorite part of what we do is the storytelling and being able to interact with people and learn different things. And I know I've learned so much from all the people who have been on, and I'm really grateful for that platform.
One interesting topic they touched on was physical injury and then the resulting mental wellness. Can you talk to us about how injury can play a role into mental health?
Yeah, so with the college athlete, or any athlete in particular, injury is something that every athlete has to face one day or another. It's very, very rare. I mean, I can say every, but it's very rare if you go your whole career without getting injured. So when you get injured, a lot of times from my own personal experiences with injury, it's like, okay, well, I tweaked this, and mentally you could be doing fine, but physically you're hurt. But then slowly, when you're injured, it takes a toll on you mentally. You're stressed out. You want to get back on the field. And not only do you want to get back on the field, but you want to get back competing because that guy behind you is right there ready to take your spot. So a lot of athletes get nervous and get anxious about these injuries. It's something that can take a toll on your mental health. And you always see with athletes with the physical injuries, you can see that, right? You can see the physical injury. You can see somebody on crutches. But if somebody mentally isn't doing well, it's a lot harder to see. And those often, unfortunately, with student athletes go hand in hand, and that's a situation that we talk about a lot on the podcast.
That's great. We're QWTChrises on live with Ben Ruvo of The Hidden Opponent, the CEO and president, and also at Benny Ruvo on the Instagram. Good morning to the Philippines. Thank you for joining us today. If anyone has any questions for Ben, there is a question mark box below. It's much easier to see than the comments. But if you would like to just throw out an emoji or two, he does have a safe word that Ryan should have went over with him.
Oh, yeah.
And if Ben does say the safe word, he's allowed to leave. It's an emoji. You only get one emoji guess at a time in the comments. It's pretty obvious, but we'll be giving away a special prize, maybe a little man that holds onto a cup or some Quarantine with the Chris's coffee.
Oh, wow.
We have that? Yeah, I think we did.
Oh, yeah, we're giving away a coffee.
Yeah.
Best emoji, or you guessed emoji of the day.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry, Ryan. You got a note? Oh. I don't. This just came in. It's for Benny only. Is it okay if I open it for you, Ben?
Oh wow, you got a note?
Yeah, I got a note I got a note from Ryan. It says, is that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it says.
Oh.
Help.
Kelp. It says kelp.
Oh.
Kelp. Yeah.
Are you okay, Ryan? No? Okay. All right. Well, Ben Ryan is our student athlete intern, and by athlete he plays absolutely nothing except for knock hockey. How are you? How are you hearing from your peers, both on campus and around the country, about how the Hidden Opponent has helped them throughout their mental health issues?
Yeah, one of the most rewarding things is being able to talk to people and people reaching out and saying how much it's helped. And honestly, the outreach has been tremendous. We've had people from all over the country, even past country, to the UK, to countries all around the world, telling us how much they appreciate what the Hidden Opponent's done, how much the team has done for them, and to keep inspiring. And ultimately, that's why we do it. It's great. The work's great, but the most rewarding thing is helping people and making that change, because a lot of athletes, or a lot of people in general, are reluctant to get help. They say, oh, I don't know if it's for me, I don't know if I want to talk to somebody. And by making it a fad and making it cool, okay, well, it's cool to tell your story, it's cool to get help, because social media, at the end of the day, I talked about this a little bit yesterday on another interview, and they talk about social media, right? It's a big thing. Everyone's doing it. We're doing it right now.
We're all doing it. What's this social media thing? How does it work?
And it could be good or bad. And a lot of there's good themes and there's good fads going on and there's bad fads going on. If we can make trends of the good and filter out the bad, ultimately that's what's going to help. And by making this trend through the Hind opponent, but by telling your story and being active and proactive about your mental health is good, it creates a positive influence on the world, which is ultimately what we're trying to do.
Wow. Yeah, leaving such a positive influence.
A little delayed, Ryan, but we appreciate that.
One mental health topic that we've seen with our friends and just in talking with other athletes is what to do after sports. So what are some of the coping mechanisms, or what do you have? What type of conversations are you having with seniors that are leaving or have lost their senior season?
Yeah, so even if you lost, losing your senior season was tough. So this spring, we had a few athletes on our team at my school, on the baseball team in particular, who were some of my best friends who, you go down to Florida, and we went for a Florida trip on our spring training trip, and they were just there to have a good time. We were all there to have fun, play some baseball. We expected to come back, get ready for conference play, and in 2 days, their careers were over. It was a shock for everybody. Nobody really expected it. And that's a tough reality that these athletes are facing. And, sports end for everybody. And whether you're Derek Jeter or you're Ben Ruvo, it's going to end eventually, So we have to prepare those athletes, and you have to prepare mentally for the next chapter. And a big theme that we talk about on the line at the end of the Hind opponent is your self-identity after sport. And a lot of athletes have a tough time with that because, you think about your self-identity. And when somebody asks me, who are you? What's your name? What's up? I say, I'm Ben Ruvo. I play baseball. I'm a baseball player. And I try to shy away from that as much as possible, but that's just a natural response. And that can form into your identity, which when it ends for everybody, then a lot of athletes will have a shock like, oh no, I'm not a baseball player anymore. I just graduated. I don't play baseball anymore. So who am I? And we try to emphasize to athletes that you're more than just an athlete. And after your careers are over, there's still ways you can be active and be athletes afterwards. But there's also that other identity. You're not just an athlete. You have more to offer. You have other interests that spark you, and that's what we try to emphasize with these athletes.
It's interesting you say that. We do have a former athlete that just joined in, and after his
from
first
New
love
Jersey,
football, from Jersey,
the Garden State, the best one in the union.
Yeah, he picked up music, and is a musician now. What are some of the other areas you see people going in after sports?
Yeah, so a lot of people that still want to stay active will do we'll do CrossFit training and do powerlifting and stuff like that just to stay active and stay with sports. Music is something that so many athletes do. One of the friends that we interviewed, actually, this is a good story. After he was done playing, his name's Ernie Duncan. He played basketball at Vermont, outstanding player. I think he's going to play overseas somewhere, but he was taking some time off, and he decided, all right, well, I'm going to make a movie review Instagram account and just hang out with my friends, watch some movies, and post my reviews about them. And who cares if anybody listens, but it's something that we like to do, and it's fun. And, maybe they have some Korean romances on there.
Mic drop.
Wow, that was a good one. That was a good ball. Wow. I think you must be batting cleanup with all those.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? We actually were discussing yesterday of starting a movie review for the 21st century because no one has any attention span besides 15-second TikTok videos. So we thought of just making movie reviews either in TikTok form or just one word. Yeah. And just having movie reviews and being movie critics and being on Rotten Tomatoes with just Sandlot, watch. Or something like that. It's stupid, but somehow people would be like, oh, I respect their one-word movie reviews. Because no one's going to read an entire movie review anymore. Who does that?
I don't know.
Yeah. So it's short, funny, to the point.
Yeah, exactly. If you're scrolling, you want to see the stars or the 1 to 10, and then you just want to see if it was good or bad. Good, bad, mediocre, somewhere in between. What is it?
Yeah, exactly.
All those memes out there. Ooh. All the funny memes.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst thing that you can do is, if you're a movie reviewer, the worst thing, this is going a little off topic, but is...
Fine. So is the camera. So is Shay.
Is when somebody, you're like, oh, I'm watching this new show. I'm watching this. And they're like, oh boy, like you're gonna want to get to this part, something's gonna happen, or like they start reviewing it and it's just like completely giving away stuff. You're like, well, I know, it's like I got an idea now. It's like, oh, have you gotten to this part yet? Or this is really good. You should watch this. It's like, just say if it was good or bad and let me watch.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think we have our first follower of our a new account.
I think so.
It's called One Word Review.
Yeah, One Word Review with the Chris's.
Yes. Okay, let's sum up the hidden opponent in one word. What would it be?
Ooh, put me on the spot. This is okay. Let's think. I would want to say. Could it be? Is it like a word about what we do, what we like a message, or
Whatever you want to put out there.
You could say pineapple. We just say okay, interesting.
I would just say like. I wouldn't say a verb. I would say like vulnerability would be the word of what we talk about, and that's the word that we emphasize: being vulnerable, being able to tell your story, and making that change and talking to people. Because a lot of people. And let me go off a little bit on men and men's mental health, because that's something that I'm really passionate about.
Sure.
Men in particular are less vulnerable when it comes to talking about mental health, and our followers are predominantly female, and that's that's good too. But the whole thing about men is men are very nervous to talk about their feelings and not as vulnerable, and there's different ways about masculinity that I want to put an emphasis on and like shape how people think about masculinity, because back in 50 years ago it was toughen up, be a man, but like everybody has feelings, whether you're male or female or anywhere, any gender, you have feelings and you need to talk about those feelings. It doesn't matter if you're male, you know what I mean? So that's something that I like to emphasize.
Interesting. And how did you were able to become so vulnerable yourself personally?
Yeah, so it's really not easy. It's easier said than done. So I don't. If you want to, like, I always emphasize, if you're ready to tell your story, share your story. If you don't want to, you don't have to. That's the great thing about it. It's like it's whatever you want. It's your choice. It's up to you. And how I started mine and how I ended up sharing my story was actually because I would watch YouTube videos about OCD. I have OCD for the listeners. And I would be, oh wow, this person tells a really cool story. I wish I could do that. I wish I was that brave to share what I'm going through. Oh, that's really cool. Maybe like when I'm getting through this, or when I get through this and learn the proper tools through therapy, I'll be brave enough to do this. And eventually, as time went on, when I went through therapy and I felt really a lot better, I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna run as far away from this as possible and just pretend like it never happened. And that didn't really fly. I was like, okay, well, it's part of me. It's something I deal with. Mental health, as you know, like I said, is on a spectrum. So I have OCD forever. It's never going to be cured. It's part of me, and I want to help others get to the point where I'm at, because I knew when I was going through it, I was so alone. I felt like I had nobody. So to be able to share your story is one of the most powerful things you can do. And one day I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to put it up there. Whoever reads it, fine. If you don't read it, I don't really care. And if you don't care about it, unfollow me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because your true friends do come out. You know what I mean? You have your friends, and they'll come out and they'll support you, and those are the people you want to be close with. And the response you get from sharing your story is amazing. It really is. People from all over, people who I don't even know, would message me. Oh, I read your story. I really appreciate it. It really helped me. And that's what that's what makes you keep going. That's what keeps you wanting to share that story, and it's a really powerful thing.
That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for sharing that story with us today. What is the feedback that you've received from people who have been on and shared their story? Is there like a sense of relief, a sense of community? Like, how do people feel once that their story is shared?
And how are they sharing it with the hidden opponent? I'm not sure if you touched on that yet.
Yeah, so you can submit it through our email, through Instagram. We can, if you message us through Instagram or through Twitter or whatnot, we can set you up with a format where you can submit your story, and then you submit some pictures, and we put it up. You know, we got a storage of stories that we like to share, inspiring stories. We encourage you to share your story. Another way you can share your story if you don't want it to be public is through the Facebook group. We have a student-athlete Facebook group and a coach's Facebook group, and those are private. But if you are a student-athlete, you can get in. If you're a coach, you can get into that one. And that's just a way where it's a more of a tighter-knit community where people are interacting more and talking with one another, sharing their stories. Coaches are talking about what works in their programs, how they're doing, and it's really a powerful thing. So we encourage everybody to help and be the change.
What would you say to someone we see here in the comments, a marine biologist possibly? Someone was cut from a team over mental health issues. How do you guys assist someone who has actually been cut from a team? I know we're talking about just student athletes, but what about people who unfortunately don't make the team for mental health issues?
Repeat that question. I'm sorry.
It was long ranging, and I was also reading what someone was writing. And thank you for the comments, everyone. We appreciate it. But someone, I guess, who was cut from a team over their mental health. Have you experienced that with the hidden opponent?
I have not. Times have changed now, and unfortunately, if that happened, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's a discussion. Obviously, it's a really personal thing, and we hope that the change moving forward, and that will change moving forward. But for the most part, within our community, coaches have been very vulnerable and have been open to new ideas. 50 years ago, coaches would not have really received that in the same light. They probably wouldn't have understood it. Nowadays, coaches want to learn. I know personally from my coach, when I opened up to him, he's been really receptive. He'd even call me for check-ins and stuff like that just to see how I'm doing. And it really goes a long way to talk to your coaches. But I've not really seen that. I'm sorry if that happened.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. How is the hidden opponent working with coaches?
Okay, so we have a coaches group on Facebook. That's for one, where coaches can interact with one another. Coaches will also message us, talk a little bit about athletes, stuff like that. But honestly, the Facebook group is my favorite part of how the coaches can get involved, because coaches need to know just as much as student athletes what's going on, because they need to know what's going on with their student athletes, with their athletes. And it's so important for the coach to really understand how each student's feeling. And having this group, the coaches can talk to each other, talk about what works on their campus, what doesn't work, how they're able to open up with their team and whatnot. And it really creates that community feel.
That's pretty cool that coaches have that network, just like the student athletes do. Can someone still, after they graduate, can they still be a part of the hidden opponent?
Yeah, so actually, most of the people that are on our team are graduated. I think my brother and I are the only ones that are still playing. And obviously the interns they're in college as well, but Victoria, Leanne, Jamila, they're all done playing. And that's the way they got involved. They want to stick with athletes, want to help. And also within the community, just sharing it, being a part of it, telling stories, sharing your story through it. We had a story the other day where the kid was out of college, Evan Fernandez, outstanding story. I suggest everybody who's listening reads that. But yeah, you can stay with it, follow it, give it a comment, stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely not restricted to the student athlete, because in general, whether you're done or not, you were still a student athlete. You're still an athlete. At the end of the day, if you run, you're an athlete. That's what I think. If you run, if you do anything active, you're considered an athlete. So you're always part of the community.
Yeah, Ryan, eating potato chips is not bicep curls, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Sounds like you two have something in common.
I think so. We're live with Ben Ruvo, CEO and president of the Hidden Opponent at the Hidden Opponent on Instagram. Ben, could you walk us through, I guess, the future of the Hidden Opponent? As of right now, obviously with COVID, there are restrictions into what you can actually do in the real world. But what do you look forward to for the next couple months of 2020? We're still in 2020?
I think so, yeah.
2020 and beyond, and whenever COVID decides to go home.
Yeah, I'm losing track of days too. Sometimes I'm like, oh, what day is it? Oh, it's Wednesday. Oh, that's weird. Feels like a Friday or something. But moving forward, we have some exciting things going on. Campus Captains is going to be full force within the next few weeks, and we're also coming out with merchandise within the next couple months.
Fresh merch. Wow.
Fresh merch. We'll have wristbands to start, and then we'll be coming out with some more apparel later. So that's really exciting. We'll be keeping up with stories. We'll be keeping up with our Facebook group, and hopefully doing some events on the Facebook and on the Instagram. It's all that good stuff. So we're really excited with how it's going. We just want to keep plugging along, keep doing what we're doing, and hoping to make that change.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. We're looking forward to that. Also, what can we expect from the Lineup podcast? You guys just launched that, and you got some pretty big things coming out of there. What can we expect from that?
Yeah, so we got a few interviews lined up. For one, we'll be launching an episode with Andrew Cooper on Sunday. He's an advocate, a mental health advocate. He's a runner at Berkeley, Cal Berkeley. He'll be coming up, and then we have a few more lined up with a psychologist. We have one from a gymnast, and we have one who's a founder of LRT Sports, which is a foundation, which is a company that actually helps high schoolers get recruited, helps them with recruiting profiles, and she'll tell her story there too. So we have a lot of good interviews lined up. We're really excited from. If you haven't listened to Lineup, they're all on Spotify and Apple and any other platform really for podcasts. They should be there. So look up the Lineup on those. You could search my name if you can't find it. It should show up. And there's probably around 7 or 8 that we've done so far that have been awesome. So I suggest you all listen.
That's Benny with a Y and not an IE. Is that correct?
Y, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Y. It is a Y. It's a, I actually really just go by, so the way this goes is my full name is Benjamin. And
all about that.
Shocking. That's news to me.
Wow, I never knew that.
I always just thought it was tough. Okay, continue. Sorry. My full name, this is first ever according to the Chris's groundbreaking news, is actually Christopher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Same. That's crazy.
Wait, you're the same?
Same.
Hey.
Wow.
No, what I'm saying, I understand, is, some people go by Benedict. There's Benedicts.
Ah.
So, there's also that.
Respect.
But, yeah. So, actually, I've always just went by Ben. And then my brother, he's commenting Benny on the bottom over there. My brother and my friends will just started calling me Benny, like randomly. Kind of, I don't even know if it was a joke or not. But then I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go by Benny now. I'm just gonna feel it. I'm gonna go with it. So sometimes I go by Benny, sometimes I go by Ben. It's kind of just whoever I'm with, whatever they're feeling, I'm feeling. So it's all good.
That's what brothers are there for. Yeah. They and adding extra Y's to your name too.
Yeah. He funny story though. He's Max, but he's not Maximilian or Maxwell. He's only Max. So
I'm sure you can come up with some nicknames for him.
That's always a debate with my parents. Like, why do you name Benjamin and his full name, but why am I just Max? We don't know.
Wow. You know what? They just were like, it's too many letters to remember. We'll just go keep it at 3.
There's 3 kids, they were maxed out by that time, I guess.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. No pun intended, right?
All the puns intended.
First pun. Ooh, first pun.
Ben Ruvo at The Hidden Opponent, CEO and President. Thank you for joining today and helping raise awareness for student-athlete mental health. We should thank our sponsor before we leave, though.
Oh, Wiffle Ball Bats, hitting all the home runs today.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This was a blast. I had a lot of fun doing this. I love what you guys are doing. I'll be sure to. I think I'm going to get a mug. I think I'm feeling the mug.
We do have fresh merch on the website, QWTChrises.com/shop. The link is in the bio. We do have a mug. This one has a sticker on it because the other side didn't come with it.
Yeah.
But you will get a double-sided one.
And we can even personalize it with you. We can go Ben or Benny, your choice.
Ooh.
Yeah, whatever I'm feeling. You know what? You guys decide. I mean, it's whatever.
Wow.
I'll give you guys the choice.
Oh, wow. We appreciate that. Well, thanks for choosing to stay with us today.
Hats off to you and The Hidden Opponent. We appreciate you, brother. Best of luck in the new school year. Don't go to too many COVID parties now, you hear?
No, definitely not. I'll be socially distancing, wearing a mask, all that stuff. So, it's gonna be a different year, but I'm excited to at least have something going on.
Right on.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting the PSA out there for us. We appreciate you. Thanks so much for joining us today, Ben.
Yeah, of course. See you guys.
See ya.
Thanks, Ben.
Oh, that was a treat.
Yeah, that was the CEO and president of The Hidden Opponent at The Hidden Opponent on the Instagram, hiddenopponent.com, Ben Ruvo. The Hidden Opponent is what again for everyone that might have missed it?
It's a dinger.
Oh, it's a humdinger.
It's a humdinger, as the kids would say. It's an advocacy group that raises awareness for student-athlete mental health and addresses the stigma within sports culture.
As we have been talking about all week, it's supporting The Hidden Opponent. Is run by a current student-athlete and a former student-athlete, Victoria Garrick. Check them out at The Hidden Opponent on Instagram or not at, but thehiddenopponent.com because you don't at things on URLs do.
I don't know. I don't know. The internet is a new thing.
Yeah. And our if you go to wiffle.com, our sponsor today, Wiffle Ball Inc., it looks like they haven't changed websites since 1996. It's actually quite fun to click around on. Like literally, it looks like it's like on Netscape Navigator or whatever those things used to be.
Who was a number of the best player playing sports in 1996?
Number 2.
Number 2?
Derek Jeter. That was his rookie year.
You wouldn't say number 23.
In basketball.
Oh.
Yeah. But we're talking about baseball.
I was talking basketball.
Yeah.
Well, either way, both sports are supported at the Hidden Opponent.
Yeah, there you go. Shout again to Ben at the Hidden Opponent. Please check them out. We've been promoting them on our story and on our page all week. Click the link in the bio to find out some more information about all of our guests this week. But we have a very special guest tomorrow as we continue Mental Health Week, Chris.
Yes, we have Nick Talia coming on tomorrow talking mental health, mental strength, and the ultimate edge.
Is it the Ultimate Edge?
I don't think it's ultimate edge.
It's not the Ultimate Edge at all.
No, it's
you
not.
have to tune in tomorrow to find out.
We'll get back to you on that one. So thanks for tuning in today. We'll catch you tomorrow with the... man. I'm upset.
What? It's Just Us Girls now?
Oh.
It's Just Us Girls.
Oh, it's Just Us Girls now. Girls. Wow, thank you. Yeah. Thanks
Hats
for
off
hanging
to you,
out with us.
Cat Mom in Wisconsin. Hope you're not burning up there. It's a heat wave!
See ya.